So I want to talk a little baseball. I want to go out west. I want to go to California. Forget the East Coast stuff. Forget going over to the UK. Let's go back out west to sunny California because, well, it's always a little bit sunnier right there, especially now in Huntington Beach Ocean View. Take a look at the LA Times right now. Yes, California wins the Little League World Series in walk-off fashion. Yes, this is the story that everybody's talking about right now. But not necessarily because the win or the loss from Japan. No one's talking about that. They are also taking a look at this from a different point of view. Women's Talk Sports. It's a women's best women's sports blog. It's news and opinion from the women, basically, from the women's point of view. They're basically going out there and they're saying that it's inequality. You know, the equality, the Title IX stuff, it's not really applying to this. They're basically going out and saying, well, hey, you had the Little League World Series and you had the women's, what was it, softball World Series. The girls, I mean, all ages of basically 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. Sometimes they're 13, depending on the birth date. But they're going out, and obviously the Little League World Series has been something that's been broadcast forever. But now it's been pushed out on multiple channels. We've seen it on ABC, we've seen it on ESPN, we've seen it on ESPN2. They even have it sometimes on ESPN Classic just to run the replays of some of the older guys, some of the guys that played when they were younger. However, the Softball World Series was only broadcast on a couple of those channels, and only sometimes, not as much, it's not as heavily pushed as the Little League World Series. It's not making the Sports Center highlights the way the Little League World Series does. And what this blog and this site is claiming is the fact that, well, you know what, this is inequality. You know, there's not equal rights here. There's not equal values placed on softball as there is on Little League for baseball. Your 8-year-old daughter is right in this kind of realm almost.
She is.
So tell me, what's your opinion on it?
Well, I do not have a firm, single opinion on this. As a mom with a little girl, you know, I can see where parents can say, you know what, it is unfair, it is sexist. You know, why aren't the girls Little League getting fair playtime, and especially on TV? You know, they're just as good as the guys are, the little boys. Why isn't
If not
it
better,
happening?
sometimes, because
If
they're
not
more
better,
mature.
of course,
Absolutely.
you know. And you know, just this you know, spring, my daughter says to me at the end of the springtime, she's like, you know, it's unfair. How come, you know, my cousin gets to play his little league over the summertime, the special teams that they have in the summertime.
Yep, the all-star teams.
The all-star
and so on and
teams.
so forth.
How come he gets to play and my season ended? You know, we don't get to do that. How come? What am I going to say to her? I don't know. I mean, you know, there's no answer to that.
Yeah.
You know, but on the flip side, though, you know, I'm one of those people who's, you know, business-oriented, business-minded, and I think to myself, what's going to sell?
Exactly.
You know, if I'm going to...
That's what it comes down
you know,
to in the end.
That's what it is. You know, if I want to make money and I want people to watch, you know, watch what I'm selling, I'm going to put on what's going to sell. And I think in this day and age, you know, if I have to choose between girls softball and boys Little League, you know, I hate to say this and I'm sorry. I'm going to have to put the boys. But having said that, if there's something going on that's just like super hot, there's a super hot girls softball team that's just like, you know, making like the cut and everybody's talking about, of course I'm going to put that on.
But you can also make the case, because I also played Little League, but I went on to play at other levels as well. And those levels weren't broadcasted. So you could say, well, there was inequality there, but there was inequality between the ages.
Title IX was introduced and it allowed, you know, the leagues to allow girls to play baseball. You know, but at the same time, right on the heels of that, that's when softball was introduced. So it's like they're saying, yes, you can play baseball, but you know what, girls? There's also the softball team that's starting now, so why don't we push you off to softball?
It's interesting. It's fun. It's a good debate I think people could have for a little while. I like it for sure.